and welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Motorsport with a little bit of an investigation slash challenge, if you will. This is the age-old question of built versus bought. Now, there are a few caveats with the way this works. The basics of it are: is it better to build a car up to a certain class, or is it better to start off with a car that is, much higher PI, the Forza's rating system, but have a lot less room for upgrades? The base car is better, but you get less upgrades. Now, we aren't running the bought cars as completely stock. There's never really a reason why you would be doing that in Forza. So the bought cars are vehicles that are around the top of their class, or even in the class above and PI dropped, which we can do now with ballast and the like. Whereas the built cars have to be from at least a class below. The other big important caveat in this is we were not allowing slick tyres, the race tyres, on the cars. They are so powerful in this game, they will win everything. So, admittedly, if you were doing this, all the vehicles would be run on slicks. If we were allowing slicks, the built cars would win everything because they would have slicks. And the bought cars, maybe a couple might sneak just about them within the PI or whatever. But, slicks were banned. Which, admittedly, does make this slightly less useful in as far as you would just put slicks on everything in Forza. That's the way it goes at the moment. But for the sake of an entertaining video and an interesting challenge, that was the rules going forward. For our first race, we have come to the Mid-Ohio circuit, and I have got a Porsche. In fact, this 911 does, well, technically start in A class, but with a little bit of ballast, have got the PI drop down to B. I did have enough PI to mess around, so I've got a gearbox here. We've got sort of little upgrades in the car to try and help with the drivability. It's always going to be perhaps a little bit of a struggle. Oh, there's someone off in the gravel. We're on the outside of an aircraft carrier. Nope. Get back onto the road. Sorry. Sorry, Lotus. It's been an okay start, actually, considering we were starting from the very back. It could have been worse. Porsche likely to have some decent top speed. The Lotus maybe a little... I don't actually think the Lotus is going to necessarily be lighter than the Evora. We're both definitely lighter than the big German cars in front of us. I'm trying to sneak up the... Whoa! The Longbow got tangled with a Mazda. Not quite sure where the Lotus has gone. Go, BMW, go! We are being ensnared in traffic at the moment. This part of the track, I mean, Mid-Ohio is a fiddly circuit. Impega's Mercedes has run out of grip. It put a wheel on the grass, and that was the end of its day. Ninetails has had an adventure somewhere. I don't know what's gone on in this race. There's been a couple of adventures for various vehicles. The highest place of the bought cars, I think I can see Brazen in a Cadillac up in front. I mean, we're clinging on to the tail of the group for now. Oh, we have got a good run through there. I did end up getting slightly into the back of the Holden, which is not what we wanted to be doing. I have a feeling some cars maybe had fuel issues. That would be... Forza being Forza in that we cannot get past the Holden on the exit there. God damn it. We will try... I mean... I don't know where I'm likely to be better than the Holden. We might have a little bit more straight line speed, although of the kind of bought cars, mine is probably more handling, I say focused. It's very loosely very loosely focused on handling, because very limited in terms of upgrades. But the 911 GT3, a great platform to build on. Not quite sure where I can get away with braking down there. Could have been a little bit later. I don't know if I would have been able to pass the Holden, though, regardless. Now we get stuck behind the BMW. It is a very, very close group of cars, actually. We are very much in the fight. Oh, I'm struggling to make any progress through the pack. That is the difficult bit for me here. We're just really struggling to overtake. And again, I'm really, really stuck behind this Beamer. I think we're a little quicker, potentially, than Liam, but trying to get a pass done is just proving tough. There is some rallycross antics up ahead. It was an Escort Cosworth that went off. It was fulfilling its destiny of being a rally car. And now there's a Clio in the pits. There's been some shenanigans that have gone on in this race. We will try and be, again, we're trying to be neat through turn 1, and we are relatively neat through there. I mean, I don't really want to betray my fellow bought car, but I do also want to pass the BMW. I don't know where I can dive under brakes down there. That was the difficult part. I didn't know how late the Puma was going to be under brakes, so I was just a little bit cautious to not cause an accident there. Gliska's got a little gap. It's not a particularly big gap. Up at the front, we can just see the green. I think it's a green car, although sometimes the liveries are funky. So who knows? But yeah, this is a really big pack of. This is a really big pack of cars for Mid-Ohio. There's half of the door has been left a little bit ajar, and I'm trying to put the nose of a Porsche in where I can, but now it's 3 wide, and that's just not going to work. It's almost 4 wide at Mid-Ohio. There's just no space. Ewan's bailing on the course. Ewan is not going to be able to keep that on the road, and I mean, probably quite sensibly at some point you just got to go, yeah, hold on, this isn't working. We've survived all of this, I have to say, relatively well in the Porsche. We've just been staying out of trouble. It's not my quickest B-Class car. However, it's doing a pretty decent job here. Okay, we're not really under pressure from behind. We've had a good end to that lap, mostly because we had a little bit of breathing space. So Longbow is 3rd, I think. So this is kind of the battle for the podium back, although Longbow's made a little bit of a break in all of this. What can we do here? Down towards the hairpin we go. Liam has gone very deep. We've gone quite deep. We might be able to... Well, we sneak past the BMW. The problem is, BMW's got us on the exit. Stevie ended up wandering a little bit wide. That might be an invitation for us to get a slight bit more straightforward pass here. So me and the BMW go tearing down the straight, catching... I mean, it is working kind of as we would expect. The built cars handle better, the bought cars are a bit more powerful and a bit faster down the straight, and we are generally seeing that. Even my Porsche, that's not really the normal... I say not really the normal sort of bought car, but this is, yeah, it's much more handling based. Even this is much faster than these heavily upgraded cars. If I could get past Liam, I think we could go a lot faster. But it's really, because it's just so difficult to overtake at Mid-Ohio in very similarly matched cars. I gain my lap speed in these corners where I just cannot find a way past. There is a Ford going for an off there. Oh God, and there's the Ford and Holden have had an argument, as you know, very Australian touring cars for you. We might be able to duck underneath the Holden here. We've got an amazing run. Go, Chris, go. I can push you forward a little bit here. We're trying to make the most of our opportunities. Chris bailed on trying to go side by side with Liam there. We might be able to get past Chris here on the run towards the hairpin. We can make it... Whoa! Well, there was a Porsche in the middle of that. But, yeah, there's a lot of cars in a small piece of road through all of that. It's fine. We got squeezed in the middle, and now comes the speed of the GT3. Can we have a dive? The Falcon's going to cover the inside. That's okay. I'm happy to try the long way here, because if I can get this to work, we'll be on the inside for the next corner, which we are. And that will hopefully be us up into 6th if I can just put the power down. Brazen I saw had an off, which is unlucky for the Cadillac, that was performing very, very well. I mean, we've over the course of this, we've been losing time to the leaders, and that's to be expected. We've been fighting very, very hard with the Australian contingent. But we are now clear, and we are still stuck staring at the back of the BMW. I mean, now we've got clear of that, we are flying in this car. I have to say, I'm liking this vehicle. I think it's a very, very nice car to drive. Whoa, Chris has absolutely launched it. I mean, I was going to try and turn in and have a nice exit there, and that was from a very, very long way back. I wasn't expecting that one. And that's screwed any chance we had of catching Liam, which is kind of frustrating. it's just like you're not well. I mean, you leave the door open, and it's always a potential danger. But it was just the biggest dive bomb imaginable to try and do that. Oh, Liam's biffed it. Liam has, after all that hard work, Liam has gone wide at the hairpin. I mean, Ninetales has caught up after an iffy start. I don't quite know what happened to Ninetales in all of this. The Evora, quick, but not quite as good down the straights as we are going to find a way past. So this is now the battle for 5th. Could we do something about the Holden? Oh, I should have. Maybe I could have gone for a big dive down there. We are side by side through there. Ninetales out a little bit wide. I'm going to take the opportunity to shut the door at that point. Oh, back end's got a bit lively all of a sudden as we work through this next section. Right, what can we do? Can I defend? Really, can I defend from that Lotus? I think the Holden's got us, HSV has got us, because we're not close enough for the straight line speed advantage of our car to really kick in here. I've just got to be careful that the Lotus doesn't find a way past. Oh, the HSV with a big wobble right at the death there. Ninetales is going to look around the outside. Ninetales is going to be pinned down the bottom there. Always going to struggle to get off the corner on a tight line. Oh, that was an absolutely mad race. That was an absolutely mad race. I mean, lap times are kind of a little bit irrelevant because we were stuck in so much traffic. I don't know what we could have genuinely done. The Evora was probably quicker than us. It fell back and it caught the pack. I don't think we had an answer really. The Evora would have passed us and probably gone off into the distance. Could we have got into the 35s? I don't think so. Could we have probably got into the 36s? I'm sure we could have done. But yeah, that was a mad race. I mean, certainly the built cars lock out the podium. The bought cars, some of them weren't too bad. I had fun. That Porsche was great. That was a mad race. I'm sticking with the theme I have, apparently, for this video with Porsches. We have a 924 for this. Now, I've gone for the built side of the battle, if you will, this time out. Of course, this starts off, I think it might even start off as a D-class car. It's got a wide body kit on it, which is part of the reason actually why I picked this. It's got a wide body kit, so it has big sport tyres. Some 350 horsepower, and it's relatively light. The hope is that it'll be able to accelerate well and potentially outhandle some of the other cars. It looks like, well, we've got a fair amount of built cars actually up at the front. It's a Sentra driven by Brazen that's leading the way. We've been a little bit boxed in, and unfortunately we've had a poor run onto the straight. It's about to get quite crowded on the run down here. What can we do? Oh, maybe if we can be neat on the exit here. The Corvette really struggling to turn. Of course, when you start getting up to A-class, the bought cars, you kind of step away from big, well, I say that the really big, you don't, God, don't end up in the back of the Nissan. You don't have as many of the big sort of GT car. I mean, I guess you could for this, but you've got things like the mono that can get in here. I don't know if it needs to be PI dropped. It might be a little bit. There's a BAC mono up ahead. Oh, so they're actually kind of the small, light, but kind of leery cars is probably the best way to sum them up. I'm not sure what the vehicle is behind me. I don't know if it's a Portofino or a Roma or something like that. It looks like a Ferrari of some sort. I don't know what happened to Ewan. Ewan's had an adventure. Either way, Brazen continues to lead the way. We have gone a bit wide at turn 1, which is not quite what I wanted to do. Stevie's, well, had bigger issues than me, and we will sneak past. The Sentra has come undone to the Donkavor. We have got past Stevie's Nissan. We're going to run. I mean, we're now about to just join this very busy group here. That is 3 wide currently. Oh, Liam's gone out of the lead of the race. The Donkavor bit. That is one of the downsides with that car. The Donkavor, the mono. I'm going to guess it got a sim steering twitch on the curb. Yeah, they can be quite savage, and when it goes wrong, you have that sort of an accident. I've got a load of speed through there. Oh, Shadow's off as well. There's Brazen's lost 2 places this lap and is now still back in the lead as every car that's gone past has made a mistake. Gliska is flying the flag for the bought cars here. The rest of this lot here are all built vehicles, basically. Oh god, all different as well. We've got some older cars, like me and Aaron with the Porsches. We've got modern Alpine, I guess modern Sentra going on. You got the older Silvia and everything. Is that Nissan Z going to have a look to the inside? It is. I'm not going to be able to do anything about that down there. It's got too much straight line speed for me. My goal is to just be neat and tidy on the exit of the corner, which we do, and we can hold on to the position. Gliska is up to the lead of the race with the F50. Brazen is still in second. We are having we've found Ninetales to battle with again. It's a different red car Ninetales is driving. So we are stuck behind. I'm not really getting the maximum out of my Porsche through that section. I mean, I was a little bit trying to look for maybe an opening to pass Ninetales. I don't know if I've got quite the pace of that F50 in all of this. There are times when I feel like we have got a lot of speed in this car, but I'm not sure if we've quite got the Ferrari pace. However, I'm going to do what I can to either try and get on the podium. I mean, maybe Gliska is going to fall under the curve. Whatever Brazen is doing to the cars that end up in front of him is something. So maybe Gliska will fall to the curse of the Sentra. It's very powerful. It's very powerful indeed. Stevie's a little bit of understeer mid-corner. I maybe waited a bit too long to get on the power out of that, pretty long corner. I mean, this is not a particularly fast car in a straight line. This was, it's built for race tyres. It has to be slightly adjusted for this. But it is a lot more of a handling car. It always was. And it definitely works. It's definitely nice driving. Even with the sport tyres, it's not as grippy as the slick version, of course, but it's still pretty good to drive, all things considered. Now, if Ninetales starts fighting Brazen, I think Gliska's just a little too quick for us around here. If these two fight, I'm hoping we might be able to profit and at least get ourselves onto the podium somewhere. Shadow's battling with Stevie, and they've just dropped a little bit further back. Is Brazen going to feel the need to defend down here? No, not quite. Ninetales has gone quite deep. Not massively deep, but it's a slightly different line, I think, to me. We both got out of that corner quite well. The Sentra's just got the acceleration on Ninetales and me. It's not quite got the handling, it's not quite got the composure of the Alpine or my Porsche. I've got a good run here, but you're not going to go around the outside of 2 cars. I'm not going to try. My goal is going to be to cut underneath. I don't know if Brazen knew we were going to try and sneak that one there. Brazen was trying to do to Ninetales what I was doing to them. Now we've all got to check up though, because Ninetales didn't get off that corner particularly well. And we have got a good run towards the line in the slipstream. Shadow's come to join the party here as we head down towards turn 1. Again, it's going for the exit for me there. I know I was on. I'm not going to have the grip to just go around the outside of Ninetales. Wheel on the dirt. Pushed it too hard. Oh, god damn it. Trying to get the absolute maximum out of the Porsche, and I fluffed it trying to go round the outside. Oh, Shadow and Brazen got connected, and we guessed the right way in all of that. Can we shove the nose up the inside of the Nissan here and get the Porsche stopped and get on the power soon enough? We can. Well, we've messed it up at turn 1. We then immediately rectified our mistake a couple of corners later. That Sylvia's got some speed in a straight line. Can we fend it off, though, for the remaining couple of laps? And can I get back onto the tail of that Alpine? I don't know. I think I've got a little bit. I mean, my car's very good in the corners. It's because it's got big tyres. The wide body kit on this car really helps. Oh, no. Now I've got on the power too soon. Stop rally crossing the Porsche. Oy. Thought I could get away with that one. We really couldn't. Okay, Brazen's a little bit further back. I didn't see any proximity arrows. That was a lap of ups and downs for me. It was a real lap of ups and downs between gaining and losing, and we just got a little too a little too eager to try and chase down the Alpine there, and yeah, silly error. Because too many, I say too many, a bunch of laps previously, I'd been too safe on the throttle there and left too much on the table. So, of course, that lap, trying to chase down Ninetales, I got a little bit brave. It's just a bit too brave. I think we've got the measure of the Sentra. I don't think it's quite got the composure to go with us. It's not been my finest race, this one, which is slightly frustrating. Not been my finest race for a car that is pretty quick. It's now all or nothing. We're at the all or nothing stage. If I put a wheel on the gravel, it's game over, but if I don't push it to the absolute limit, we're not getting a podium anyway, because we've only got one more lap to go. So I've gone down one too many gears in that one. Oh, come on, Porsche. Here we go. Now, if Shadow and Ninetales, I don't know if they're going to be close enough to really start fighting. Oh, the back end was wanting to let go. I'm just asking too much of the car as we are running out of time. Whoa. Yeah, we bounced the curb there. It's ragged. It's not what we need, really, from this. We need smooth and fast. Well, we just need fast. But smooth and fast is going to be the way to go, and I don't think I'm going to be able to make up enough time, sadly. Yeah, it could have and should have been a better finish. But, I mean, Gliska's having a relatively untroubled time in this one. It is, yeah, going to go the way of the Ferrari. Some big gaps going on in the field. The Sentra just can't match through that section, that twisty section. It's just not got the grip, not got the composure that that this group here really has had. We will try. I mean, everyone is using all the road. It's always a huge risk on this circuit, or on that corner. One wheel on the dirt, and you are in all sorts of trouble because the pack's still quite close together here. But yeah, we are not going to be close enough to do anything, unfortunately. Just one lap of complete madness, and it got away from me. Ninetales, Ninetales has done it on the final lap. Might get away with keeping second just about. It's going to be a hell of a drag race to the line. Shadow might actually do it. Stevie's tried to go the other side. Not sure who got what position up there. Oh, it was good fun. I mean, I like that Porsche. It's a lovely car to drive. I mean, it's all very close. Shadow did get it in the end, got the second place. Yeah, I think Ninetales Alpine was struggling, I think, a bit by that one. But yeah, I mean, so the built cars were very, very strong. The F50, though, did win it for the Bort. The built cars, though, were considerably quicker. I mean, we have to go back to find Impega and Dangerman in 8th and 9th with some other Bort cars, and they were about 2 seconds a lap down on the sort of the front group. The M4 struggled a little bit. The Donkavort was very quick. Donkavort was up there on pace, but we saw it was twitchy and had a spin, and that dumped it down. Portofino just didn't have any pace around there. Yeah, good race. I'm annoyed at my own driving, just one lap of madness and it went awry. But, yeah, we had a lot of fun along the way. So, for our third and final race with this little challenge, I am sticking with the built category of car, which I've been a bit mad, as you can tell by the sound of my Supra. Yes, it's powered by a quad rotor. It's got very big tyres, which is my thinking behind this, and Brazen is not stopping for turn 1, are they? Brazen's got a lot of power. And when I say a lot of power, I mean 1,100 horsepower in that BMW. Because, of course, getting these cars up to S-Class without using race tyres, of course, the Bort cars don't have race tyres. But to do that, you have a lot of power. I mean, I have a maxed quad rotor, which is 700 horsepower in this. We have got big sport tyres on this to try and use that power. Got the Lamborghini struggling mid-corner. I just got nowhere. Whoa, well, I've been pushed into that one. I don't want to be over there, but we have got that way. Sorry, Speed Piece. Oh, Stevie got a nudge from somebody in all of that. I mean, these cars are very quick, and a lot of the built cars are very difficult to drive. I mean, sensible way, that Celine, that's a sensible kind of way to go. It does start off just into sort of in A-class, so that doesn't have to get quite as far up the PI system. But you know, the Supra here, incredibly heavily modified to do this. it does struggle with composure, I think, for want of a better word, around here. The Clio's doing quite well. I mean, it was a Clio V6. I presume it's probably got a V8 in it. I think it's running about 800 horsepower. You know, there's a lot of power in that car. Longbow has caught up with that McLaren Sabre, as I have struggled to make noise. Once the tyres warm up, I don't think this is going to be too bad. But I have got to get the tyres up to temperature. The Ferrari, I mean, that Ferrari is an absolute monster down the straights. But, of course, it is a right handful in the corners. Here comes a very fast RX-7. The McLaren's run out of straight line speed. We will just go, whoa, Danger Man was it? Danger Man was quite early on the brakes. I was not as good on the brakes as I thought I was going to be, apologies. Didn't, thankfully, do too much to that Ferrari. Where are we going to find a way past? We can just turn tighter through here and get the power down. Now, can we outbrake it on the inside here? We can. We will get the Supra stop. Now, I do appreciate the quad rotor is not really the way to go. I love it. It's great fun, and I'm using it because it's probably never going to get used for anything else. It's generally not a great engine in terms of PI effectiveness and in terms of drivability as well. Because it's a rotary, all the power comes in very high end in the rev range. Low down, it hasn't actually got very much to give. It's just a ridiculously difficult engine to drive. It constantly wants to spin the wheels up. You've got to work it really hard. It's just, yeah, controllability is not the strong suit. However, it's cool, which is why we've gone for it here. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. Can we catch the Clio of madness? I don't know. I mean, I do like that the built car, that the bought cars are just sensible, you know, ultra high-end supercars, GT, whatever, and then the built cars are just insane. You've got a Clio with a way too bigger engine, a Supra with a quad rotor. There's a 1,000 horsepower BMW somewhere in the mix. I don't quite know where it's ended up, but it is around. Come on, Supra, get off that final corner. Here we go. There's an RX-7. I also presume maybe the RX-7 is with a quad rotor. Maybe the RX-7 is with a V8. I don't know. We will stamp on the brakes down there. This time, no Ferrari to bump into. We are catching maybe a little bit on Ewan. Nah, difficult to tell, really. We're getting the Supra under control here. I'm certainly not going to answer for Gliska in that Jag up at the front. With the exception of the Celine, I think all of those are very much bought cars. Come on, slow down, Toyota. We have had a decent start to this lap. If I don't get too carried away on the throttle, it takes so much. I mean, we're desperate to jump on the throttle and try and chase down that Renault. It's so easy to light up the rear tyres with this, even with 3, 4, 5, something like that on the back of this. I'm using, you know, the Supra partly because of the wide body kit, because I know I could get some big sport tyres on it. We will try and use the power where we can. Yeah, like the actual mid-corner grip with it is quite good. It just can't use its power, and even when we do get the power put down, it's just not quite quick enough in a straight line. Oh, come on, make the hairpin, please. We're just trying to gently coax the insane car around the track here. Nicely does it for the Supra. We are a bit closer to Ewan this lap around. I think we've got the handling over the Clio. Not a big surprise, to be honest. It's got much bigger tyres, and Clio V6 was notoriously difficult the best of times, but the Clio is probably faster down these straights. The gap to Longbow is remaining pretty similar in all of this, sat at about a second. We've got a couple of laps to go. I think top end, I think we're better than the Clio. We are definitely closing by the end of that straight. Whoa. We're definitely there now. Definitely caught to the back of the Clio. Are we going to be able to do a similar move as to what we did to Danger Man? Try and get the car to the inside through here. We don't want to get the pass done quickly, because if Impega is coming to get past Longbow, I think it's Impega in the Merc, I don't want to be left vulnerable to an attack. Oh, don't spin the wheels up, don't slide the car about. It is a Mercedes. Oh, I then got on the brakes a bit too early. I got past you and then immediately was too early on the brakes into the next corner. That was a bit foolish. And that is allowing the Mercedes to catch up to us. I'm hoping the Mercedes is going to spend too long fighting with that Clio to do anything about us. Because Mercedes, starts in R class, but it's like 1 PI into R class. So it has to be just a tiny little bit downgraded, either with a little bit of ballast or something, to get that into this one. Ooh. Please stop, please stop, please stop. That was a little too deep. Ewan's a little bit too deep as well. I mean, I would presume that probably me and the Renault are going to be much faster than that AMG down the straights. That would be the hope. It's quite a big hope in this, because it's now right there. We've had a bit of a scruffy lap with our fighting. Ewan is going to have a big slipstream down the start-finish straight, of course, which we got to enjoy last time around. Shadows had a problem up ahead. I don't know whether they ran wide, went onto the gravel. The Celine was doing well, but yeah, something's gone on at the end of that. Is Ewan going to be close enough to have a dive into turn 1? That is the question. Oh, almost. I don't know if I quite locked the brakes. It was right on the edge of having a lock-up, getting stopped down there. It's not been... I was doing much better following Ewan than when I got my car past and have a clean track. We've kind of just been a little bit all over the place with this. It is really not a difficult car. Not an easy car to drive. The two Porsches have been lovely. This thing is far from it. It is just so... It's excited. It is like a very excited dog that is happy to see everybody and is wagging its tail like crazy, and that is this Supra. It is just the most excitable dog. When you go near the throttle, there we go. It just wants to kill you. And Impega is having a look. I guess it's not quite the excitable dog, because it does want to kill you, rather than just being happy to see you. This is dangerous. And we are very quick in a straight line, which is going to be my saving grace against that Mercedes, I think. Oh, I thought I was braking early down there, but apparently not. Not early enough. Can't get on the power at all. The Merc is through. The Merc is through, just I can't use the throttle in this car. It just wants to let go on you. Can we... I mean, I want to try and compromise the Mercedes into the corner. Whoa. Nah, Pegasus has got us. Because I don't... Well, unless I can have an absolutely stunning final corner, I just cannot get on that throttle soon enough. Here comes the power of the quad rotor. We'd get back past into turn 1, but yeah, that's such a difficult car to drive. I mean, okay, the Celine was definitely very, very quick. It was unlucky that it fell out of that lead group for whatever reason. I mean, yeah, the bought cars were kind of the way to go, really, with that. And it's not a big surprise. Not a big surprise on that particularly. Certainly the things like mine, the Clio, the RX-7, they were quick. The RX-7 actually was a little bit faster than me. They had some speed. You know, you could make them work, kind of. They're just absolute death traps. Is the nicest way to put them. But I do approve of the livery. It is one of my favourite racing liveries of all time for the Jag. So, on to some conclusions from all of this. I mean, there was no massive clear-cut winner. I think the best that we can draw from this section of racing, of course it may vary on track, and it's going to be track and car dependent. The higher class you go, the better the bought cars get, I think. And that does kind of make sense. When it came to B class, my Porsche was actually quite nice. Like, I like that Porsche. That was actually quite a nice car to drive. But I think the built cars at that lower stage are a bit better off. You just get more options, more things that you can do with them. When my Porsche was ballasted up and aeroed, and I got it there, and that was honestly not too bad at all to drive. But I think in general, the built cars were a little bit better. But once you start getting to S-Class, okay, there's a bit of this especially to do with the fact that the cars can't have slicks. But by the time we get into S-Class, trying to get the built cars, they have to be such monsters to get the PI that they just cannot keep up with the more sensible cars. The Celine was about the only one that really worked. from the built perspective when it got to S-Class. My Supra was the second highest placed one, and it was a death trap. It really, really was. It was really difficult. You know, we were a couple of seconds a lap down. The Clio just couldn't match the pace either. None of the built cars were really working. I do agree. My Supra maybe wasn't the best way I built. It was too tempting to use a quad rotor, and honestly, if I put a V8 in it, it would have been better. That engine didn't help it, but I don't even think with a better engine, it still would have struggled. It was probably one of the better routes to go in terms of a built car as well. So yeah, in real, the higher the class, the better off the bought cars are. Although it is good to see actually that when you take the slicks away, the bought vehicles were actually, you know, we're putting up a very good fight. We're putting up a very respectable fight. It was quite close. There was certainly, you know, a good bought car can still keep up in B class, for example. If you build it right, if you tune it right, if you use the little bit of wiggle room you've got for parts to make it work, you can still get them to run nice, which is good to see. But there we go. Yeah, this was fun. It was interesting. An interesting test to see what would happen, and any time I can use a quad rotor is a good day. But there we go. That's going to be it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.